Good afternoon and welcome to our Oak Bend Medical Center Happy Hour podcast. My name is Donna and I am your host. I am very excited to introduce our guest today as we speak about the senior care program offered by Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office. Michael Khalenberg is coordinator of senior services for Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office, having studied gerontology with a background in emergency management, has given him the ability to assist seniors and people with disabilities to the concept of aging in place in the Fort Bend region. Welcome, Michael. We're so excited to have you today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited about this.
So, if our listeners remember, we talked about Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office, and it's just not a sheriff's office, but they have many programs that give back to the community. And we spoke about the children's program, but now I understand they have a senior care program. Michael, would you like to expand on what is your senior program about?
Well, thank you. Our program is the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office You Are Not Alone program, the YANA program. And that program is a telephone reassurance program that we have trained volunteers that will make daily phone calls to seniors and people with disability in Fort Bend County.
Awesome. Now, how long have y'all been doing this?
We've been doing this for about 3 years now.
Okay, so how does that help our community? Tell me some of the things where that helps our seniors and those that are disabled.
So we understand that social isolation can become a major health issue. Depression, isolation, not being able to go out, feeding themselves, going out and getting the essentials. I get calls daily about I don't have funds to buy diapers, so it becomes an embarrassment, and sometimes that can cause, a decline in their cognitive issues and cognitive being, where we're seeing health decline. And so COVID, who would have thought that we would shut down the whole world, in a few weeks? And we were trying to, prior to COVID, break this social isolation. Well, that threw us straight into a major event. So we understand that a crisis is going to happen. When a deputy shows up, it's usually already a major event. We want to be there prior to that. So the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office realized that if we can pre-visit with folks, either on the phone or in person, that's going to decrease those calls and those major crises.
So how many patients do you have in this program?
So we don't call them patients.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries, I know, but we call them members because it's a voluntary program. They want to be a part of it. We've got different elements to that, from get calls on a daily basis. They can get calls every other day. They can get calls once a week, or no calls at all. They call us. So I've got a 90-year-old man who lives very close to here in Del Webb, and he will call us when he has his light bulb blow out in the back. But so we'll do these little small chores. But currently we have about 120 seniors and people with disability throughout the county.
Wow, that takes a lot to run this program.
It does, and the only way it would work is with additional volunteers. So volunteering is one where you can come in, we'll train you how to interact with our seniors, with our computer systems. We'll even teach you how to drive a Tahoe with our emblazoned Fort Bend County Sheriff volunteer program on the side. If you don't want to do that, you can always sit in the right seat and let someone else drive. we go out, we'll visit with them. You know, with this whole pandemic, we're isolating ourselves from them to not interact as much, but we're doing it from the sidewalk or from the front door. So we are still doing visits. It does take a lot, and I really admire our volunteers for serving the county in a different way. I think if we build this, it will be there when we all need it.
Right. And building relationships. So can I ask how many volunteers that you have helping you?
Yes, we have 25 currently.
Oh, wow.
We are making over 600 phone calls a month, and we're doing approximately about 100 visits a month. So it does take a lot. And so right now, and actually during COVID, I was the only one that was actually going out and visiting and signing up folks. So that was most of my week was doing that and having our volunteers take the helm at the office. So we have a call center at the sheriff's office where we have our volunteers work on our computers and our phone systems. As you saw, back in last year, we couldn't find hand sanitizer. And so the whole concept of what we're trying to do is build relationships within the community. And we understand corporate and business needs to be part of the solution. You know, I look at it as a cog in the wheel, and that they're all the little spikes, and that we all come together. And we contacted a distillery in Katy, Texas, called MKT Distillery, and they produced 4,800 gallons of hand sanitizer for us and for them, and they emblazoned our logo on their hand sanitizer. And so it's an amazing when we all come together for a common cause.
So how would one volunteer?
So we have a process. You can contact us at 281-341-9262, or it's 9262 also is YANA, so YANA. But you can call us and say, I'd like to volunteer. We'll send you either by email or we'll mail it to you a application packet. There's a little background check that we'll do here at the sheriff's office. And generally I'll find out that everything is all good and cleared within a day. And you'll come in. We have a volunteer trainer who will walk you through the process of how to log into our online system, be able to access our members' records, be able to post the calls and what occurred during that call. We also have a paper documentation. And as we know this program will grow, we're going to expand it to other cities like Sugar Land and Richmond and Rosenberg. But right now we're covering the whole county. And so, we know that there's a need. If you look at our population, there's 811,000. I think in about 4 or 5 years we'll be about 1 million. And about 10-12% of that population is 65 and above.
Right.
So we're going to get older. I'm going to be there in maybe in a decade, and so we need to be able to reach out. So our goal is we have folks. All I ask is if you can commit 2 shifts a month, that will definitely help, because I know that we've had some shifts as things come up. A car didn't start or a cough started occurring, and so we weren't able to have a volunteer that time. And to go back to that, how critically important it is, we made a call to one of our members, and we couldn't get a hold of her. We call 3 times. We call, let's just say at 10 o'clock, then we'll call at 10:15, and then we'll call at 10:30. If there's no answer, we contact their emergency contact, a family, a friend. If we're not able to get a hold of them, then we'll send a deputy to do a welfare check. If they live in the city of Sugar Land, Richmond, Rosenberg, Missouri City, we'll contact that 911 system and allow the police officer to make that welfare check. And when we went out there to her, she had fallen 6 hours prior to us finding her on the floor, and she had a broken hip. So the family was so appreciative that the system worked. And, you know, Mom's doing a lot better. She had surgery that day. She's now in rehabilitative services. And they say we saved her life.
Awesome. And it sounds like you did save her life. So I encourage any of our listeners, if you feel chosen to be dedicated to volunteering to this great program, please call 281-341-9262. It's a great program. So now we have some members that may be listening or potentially want to be members. How do they access your program?
So again, you can call our number, 281-341-9262. Or if you have email, you can go to YANA, YANA, at Fort Bend County, all spelled out, tx.gov. And you can just say, hey, I'd like to join. I'd like to learn more information. And again, I can send out electronically our application. I can drop it off at your door. I can mail it. You can swing by the sheriff's office and pick one up. You know, we welcome that. If you know somebody, I really recommend, you know, there's probably family members listening in as well and saying this will be a great program for Mom. I get sometimes calls to say, well, if I can get you to go check on Mom, then I don't have to run over there every day. We don't want to be that wedge between Mom and the family. We want to pull together and be part of your team. And we've got great resources in this county that we want to be able to share. So if you need the program, I know people even into their 80s and 90s say it's a great program, but I'm so busy. You know, I always say their dance card is all full, you know, and they're going to Aldi's, they're going to all these places for sales and, you know, small shops and bingo and all these things. Well, we understand that, but what we want to make sure is that if a crisis occurs, that we're there to be able to be a part of that solution to that. If you have a fall detection device that somebody might have bought you, you've got to wear it. You know, I hear so many times that they had it, but they didn't wear it. And those are the tools, just like this program, it's a tool. It's there. If you don't use it, then it could be a bad day for everybody.
Right. So I know you said sometimes people need light bulbs changed and all of that kind of thing. Are there material things that can be donated to the department for help?
Yeah, so last year, because of COVID, we had a lot of folks not be able to travel for Thanksgiving. So we donated, or we had donated to us, turkeys. And I said, well, I want them cooked. So a local business cooked them and provided all of the fixings. We cut them in half, so we didn't give a senior a whole, 10, 12-pound turkey, because that would last, 6 months. But we wanted to provide them with a meal, so we had them cut in half, and we were able to distribute those around the county. So during the holiday season, end of the year, we were able to get donations of large print crossword puzzles and games and things of this sort. The 99-cent stores, the dollar stores are a great opportunity. So if you go out and pick up, drop $20 at the store, you can pick up 20, and that's going to go to 20 families or 20 seniors. And so we always say cash is king. The other unusual circumstance is that the Fort Bend County You Are Not Alone is a 501c3. So donations, corporate donations, and all those funds go straight back into the community.
Great. So if you want to do your donations, I'm sure you do it the same way, email you, call you, that kind of thing.
Yes. And we do have, it's a long link, but on our Facebook page for the You Are Not Alone, and you can find that at Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office, You Are Not Alone, Facebook, and also I do have FBC, SO, YANA, YANA.com. Again, that's Fort Bend County, SO, all abbreviated, YANA.com. And there are donation link on how to make a donation from that page. Again, everything goes straight back in. So I'm the only county employee in the program, and so I'm taken care of by our great citizens of this county. And so everything else that we get, we stick right back into the program and by the needs. I mean, we had last summer, there's a couple that live in Kendleton. He's 97 years old, veteran, and she is 89, and their window unit went out. So we were able to find a window unit, and we were able to get that to them. So our goal is, we're serving as many as we can.
This is amazing. And you are a blessing, as is Fort Bend Sheriff's Office, to give to this community in this way. Very heartwarming, and I suggest the community to get behind this because this is just an extremely great cause. Now, I heard that you have a surprise for me.
I do. So, as we're aging and as there's other cognitive issues, there's folks with TBI, traumatic brain injuries, there's dementia, Alzheimer's, there's children with autism. We've now, let me rephrase that. Back in 2011, we became a partner with Project Lifesaver International. And Project Lifesaver is a program that attaches a radio frequency device the size of a watch onto a person with a cognitive disorder, either TBI, Alzheimer's, dementia, or a child with autism. And it has a specific frequency. And our deputies have a tool called a receiver unit, and we can actually tune that into that particular frequency if one of those folks wandered or eloped or bolted. And so we went through a recertification about a month ago, and throughout the county, we were able to find the 3 mock victims or mock runaways in less than 30 minutes. So instead of a 3-day search, a 6-hour search, we're able to narrow that search time and the resources, which is going to save this county hundreds of thousands of dollars, by able to pinpoint the direction they are moving or the direction they are at. So we've launched this. We're, funding that through donations. It's really expensive. The bands cost $360, but a corporate donation of $3,600 supplies that to 10, folks or families, and think about what life-saving tool that is, So basically $1 a day will help find that wanderer for that family.
That is an amazing program and much needed. So Fort Bend County out there, or anyone listening, if we can find a loved one and bring them home safe, go online and donate. Great service.
Absolutely. There's some great tools out there, and we're trying to, find them and utilize those. And that's one thing that the current administration, the sheriff's office, has said, Michael, if you find it and it sounds good, let's try it and make it work and think outside the box. And that's the one thing that is so great about, this administration, is that we're able to, come up with the tools in the different departments to be able to come together and serve the residents.
Michael, I am thankful that you're doing all this. This is a lot of work. And I encourage everybody to go on Fort Bend County's website and their Facebook. It's not just about putting people in jail or arresting people. These guys are out here doing good in this community, saving lives, and helping this community be better, happier, and safe. So I encourage you to go on the website. We'll be posting the phone numbers in the website. Michael, thank you for joining us today. And a big thank you to our listeners. Beginning now, set an intention and a relentless focus on living your life as the greatest person you can be in all situations. If your heart has been touched by this podcast, please consider volunteering, donating, or doing something to support these guys. And thank you to our law enforcement for taking the time to take care of us. Thank you, and see you next week.
Thank you for joining us today on Oak Bend Medical Center Happy Hour podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast and invite you to email us at oakbendhappyhourpodcast@obmc.org with any questions or topics that you would like for us to cover. Remember, you can find us here each Friday at 5. Until next week, be mindful and stay healthy.